Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bernard Arnault, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, to mention a few, are among the world's wealthiest people, with net worth exceeding $100 billion. Can you just imagine how massive their wealth is? Have you ever wondered where these wealthy individuals spend their money? Or more precisely, what do they spend their money on? Well, the majority of these ultra-high net worth individuals possess assets as alternative investments. Things like premium wine, vintage vehicles, fine art, equity in private enterprises, and so on are the things that impoverished people rarely focus on. It is estimated that wealthy people spend more than half of their money on such things. In today's video, I will share with you the 11 assets the wealthy own to become rich. Welcome to Thrive Test. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. Number 11. Private and commercial real estate. Real estate is still a popular investment among the ultra-wealthy. For more than 200 years, investing in real estate has been a popular method to generate money and one of the best ways for the wealthy to acquire and retain their wealth. The practice began with the purchase of the primary residence, followed by the purchase of other apartments, usually for rental purposes. After purchasing personal property, they began purchasing commercial properties such as office buildings, hotels, stadiums, and bridges. According to statistics, the majority of wealthy people have a sizable real estate portfolio. Not only that, but wealthy individuals prefer exclusive real estate. This is the kind of property that doesn't come up for sale very often. It is rarely used to make a large profit like historical structure. The wealthy are content as long as it retains its value. An old historic 17th century cottage will be of no value to a poor person. Instead, they would look for a residential home to live in, completely unaware that the historic structure could be worth a lot of money in the future. Furthermore, the wealthy prefer to invest in commercial properties such as shopping malls, bridges, and so on. This allows them to diversify their investment portfolio and increase their sources of income. Number 10. Cash and cash equivalents. Many, if not majority of millionaires are tight with money. This does not imply that they do not have enough money to go around. They are simply more interested in increasing their wealth or spending it on things that truly matter. They do spend money on some luxuries, but on the whole, they are frugal. Many wealthy people keep a large portion of their wealth in cash or liquid financial equivalents. In this case, poor people do not have the luxury of carrying a wad of cash around with them. Rich folks, on the other hand, even have private bankers who manage their asset holdings. This means they don't have to wait in checkout lines like other customers. Did you know that millionaires typically keep up to 25% of their money in cash? This is done to prepare for the market downturn and to have cash on hand as portfolio insurance. They are also interested in cash equivalents and financial products that are similar to cash in terms of liquidity, such as money market funds, certificates of deposit, commercial paper, and treasury securities. Number 9. Luxury goods such as rare whiskey, wine, and handbags. You'll be surprised to learn that wealthy individuals do not buy expensive luxury merely because they have nothing better to do with their money. Knight Frank, a real estate agent, is among several who have shown light on how profitable luxury items such as a rare whiskey. The 2018 Knight Frank Investment Index, or the KFLII, places rare whiskey at the top, demonstrating that China and the wider Asia-Pacific ultra-high net worth individuals, or UHNWI, are propelling the new rare whiskey industry to unimaginable heights. Another is handbags. Handbags are now formally classified as an asset. According to a recent survey, handbags were a considerably better investment last year than art. Art had a total return of 5% in 2019, but handbags climbed by 13% and are the year's top seller. And among these luxury handbags, Birkins are their holy grail, with a resale market ranging between $12,000 and $18,000, while the rarest style have gone for hundreds of thousands of dollars. including one diamond-encrusted design priced at $2 million. So only the wealthy can afford a piece. Let's take a moment to catch our breath before we continue. While all of the items mentioned so far are easily obtained by the wealthy, this does not mean that average people like you and me cannot have alternative investments. We may not be able to afford the $2 million handbag, but with proper management and discipline, we can save and have alternative investments such as basic real estate for rent, or maybe investing a small amount in money markets or opening a small variety store. How about sharing some suggestions with us too about other alternative investments that average people can make? Please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Number 8. Gold or silver. Back in the day, trading was popular, particularly the gold trade. It was a type of money used by the wealthy to demonstrate their high or regal status. Little has changed. Even while the impoverished would never dream of storing gold, the affluent do. And gold has become a place for the wealthy to deposit their money. It makes sense since gold will always be valuable when paper currency is weak. History has often demonstrated how the wealthy have lived by simply purchasing vast quantities of this prized metal. The good news is that there is a type of gold for everyone. If a person just has a modest quantity of money to invest, they may choose to buy gold coins or even simple authentic gold jewelries. Those with a lot of money may decide to buy gold bars that they can keep in an actual safe in a foreign country like Switzerland. Take note that the wealthy do not keep big amounts of gold in the United States. In a crisis, current legislation states that the US government has the authority to raid and seize safes containing gold, making the US only one in the world with this authority. It happened once previously, during the Great Depression, under Franklin D. Roosevelt. This is why the wealthy make a concentrated effort to keep a large portion of their wealth offshore. Gold is valued because it is inexpensive and will never go out of style. However, an increasing number of wealthy are turning to other precious metals. This is because precious metals such as titanium and platinum are utilized in the manufacture of many devices, making them valuable to corporations and governments all over the world. While not as popular as investing in gold, these precious metals can be employed in practical applications. It's no wonder that they're gaining popularity among wealthy investors. Number 7. Artwork or fine art. One of the reasons the wealthy own so much fine art is because they've fallen in love with every painting and backdrop. They understand how valuable it is. Even if you don't comprehend the notion of art, there will always be someone who wants to purchase it. And those who want to buy it appreciate its value, and what's great with these people is that they will not try to haggle over every penny, which makes this a decent investment. Poor individuals, on the other hand, may see art as a waste of money that could have been used for more essential expenses or purposes. However, the truth is that fine art, particularly limited edition art, has a high resale value. Many wealthy people are ready to spend millions of dollars on great art. Not only that, but excellent paintings can be placed in an asset box and create a passive income. Some wealthy people have amassed enough fine art to build private galleries or to lease their paintings to well-known galleries. And that means more money. Number 6. Private credit. Private credit is a type of asset that includes privately negotiated loans as well as a variety of other types of debt financing from non-bank lenders. They may include but are not limited to small business loans, venture debt, consumer loans, invoice factoring, and other types of private debt. The majority of people do not have this sort of investment since they do not qualify for it. Rich folks have it simpler because they typically have a financial track record as well as a decent credit score history to back them up, in contrast to poor people. And this is just one illustration of how a lack of funds makes everything more difficult. Number 5. Speculative cryptocurrency. The majority of people have not fallen into this fad, But the wealthy enjoy taking risks, especially if the risk comes with a high potential return. It is estimated that there are over 100,000 cryptocurrency millionaires, with Bitcoin accounting for the vast majority. The concept alone can be difficult for a poor person because cryptocurrency requires a lot of technology to handle, maintain, and transact, things that the majority of poor people do not have access to. The good news is that you don't have to bet a lot to get some rewards. Cryptocurrency is increasingly being recognized as a serious investment worthy of consideration while attempting to accumulate wealth. Number 4. Rare or vintage cars. Millions of Americans collect cars, but not the kind that poor people cling to like old cars they drove in their adolescence. The classic muscle car or British roadster you bought in college may still have a place of honor in your garage and be used as a weekend cruiser. But vintage cars are more than just souvenirs for the wealthy. They can be utilized as financial instruments. A restored vintage Volkswagen Beetle or suicide door Lincoln Continental can be acquired for under $20,000, driven sparingly for years and then sold for a profit. But what about high-end collectibles that cost far into 7 or 8 figures? They aren't for everyone, but rich people can use them to diversify their holdings, make money, and maybe even drive on occasion. The top index was up 33.78% in 2019, and more than 500% in the previous 10 years, thanks to rising global wealth chasing a limited number of super collectible cars. Over the same time span, the S&P 500 was up 30.5%. Hagerty, an insurance business, maintains another classic car index. At the high end of the classic automobile market, those selling for more over $1 million, you'll find rather rare. Earlier brands like Hispano-Suiza and De La Haye, as well as names like Rolls-Royce and Jaguar that are still well known today. Even brands not known for producing high-end exotics can become collectibles. Toyota's stunning 2000 GT, produced from 1967 to 1970, can fetch more than $1 million at auction. So if you have some extra cash lying around, why not spend on an oldie? It'll earn you some gold in the future. Number 3. Public companies or stocks. Ultra-wealthy investors may own a majority stake in one or more significant corporations. However, many of them maintain a portfolio of simply a few equities, assets, and others are all about simplicity. They put their money into equity funds and dividend-paying shares. They enjoy the passive income provided by stock assets, the same way that they enjoy the passive rental income provided by real estate. They simply do not want to devote their time to investment management. Stocks also have modest management fees and high degree of diversification. Of course, capital appreciation is important to them, but for some, it is less important than creating current income. Number 2. Private equity and hedge fund. You cannot invest in a hedge fund or a private equity fund unless you're a multi-millionaire, because its shares trade on stock markets. Public equity is well known. One of its benefits is its liquidity. You can easily liquidate your public equity or stock shares. Private equity funds, on the other hand, are typically funded by major organizations such as universities or pension funds. Investors in private equity funds must be accredited investors with a minimum net worth of $250,000. This is already more than a poor person could have lying around. Accredited investors can be both individuals and organizations, but their definition is governed by law. In other instances, private equity funds are not subject to the same restriction as public equity funds. Some ultra-rich people will invest in private equity if you're an accredited investor. Hedge funds and private equity is not the same thing. Hedge funds uses pooled assets to explore different strategies in order to provide investors with above-average returns. Hedge funds invest in anything that fund management believe would yield the biggest possible short-term returns. And number 1, alternative investments. As previously said, alternative investments rank first among the assets on which wealthy people spend their money. Fine art, expensive musical instruments, and rare books can all be profitable investments. There are also the ultra-rich who have invested in intellectual property rights, such as song or movie rights. These can be very profitable investments. As you may have guessed, the wealthy have a variety of investment ideas, making it impossible to generalize about where they put their money. All of the above, however, are appropriate investments for such people. Many people choose varied investment portfolios because they want to reduce their risk. Remember that you can combine several of these assets to increase your wealth. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching this Thrive-tastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrive-tastic video for you to watch next. The top 10 most profitable business you can start in 2022.